Once upon a time, in a sun-kissed kingdom nestled between rolling meadows and glittering lakes, lived a kind and curious princess named Liora. The kingdom of Solaria was blessed by the sun, which shone brightly every day, casting golden light over fields of tulips, orchards heavy with fruit, and gardens that seemed to bloom eternally. Princess Liora, with her golden blonde hair braided with wildflowers and sky-blue eyes full of wonder, was beloved by all. She had a natural bond with nature and the creatures that called Solaria home. Each morning, she would rise with the sun and wander barefoot through the royal gardens, singing to the blooms and chatting with birds perched on her outstretched fingers. Her dress was always soft white with golden embroidery, and a delicate crown of daisies rested upon her head. One particularly serene morning, Liora ventured deeper into the gardens than she ever had before. As the birds serenaded her and butterflies danced around her, she came upon an old willow tree she hadn't noticed before. Beneath its curling roots, something shimmered. Intrigued, she knelt and gently brushed away the soft earth, uncovering a single golden feather. It pulsed with a warm light. The moment she touched it, a soft breeze stirred the trees, and a melodious voice whispered, "You have found the feather of Solaria. It must be returned, for the garden begins to sleep." Though her surroundings still looked vibrant, Liora noticed small signs of change. The sunflower heads were bowed, the roses drooped slightly, and the fountains trickled slower. Her heart tightened. This garden was more than a place of beauty, it was the kingdom's heart. If it faded, so would Solaria. Determined to restore the balance, Liora tucked the feather safely into her locket and set out to return it. She didn't know where it belonged, but the feather emitted a gentle warmth that guided her steps. The farther she walked, the more the landscape changed. The colors grew richer, the wind carried scents of unseen flowers, and magic hung thick in the air. She traveled through the whispering woods, where trees spoke in rustles and leaves sang lullabies. There she met a clever fox with silver fur who had lost his way. Liora shared her journey and invited him to join her. "Two minds are better than one," she said with a smile. The fox, who introduced himself as Wren, nodded wisely and bounded beside her. They crossed the sapphire stream, where fish leaped in sparkling arcs, and the stones shimmered with light. There they met the river keeper, a gentle otter spirit named Luma, who challenged them to a riddle before letting them pass. Liora listened closely and answered with grace. Impressed, Luma gave her a vial of pure sunlight, saying it might be needed later. Deeper into the lands they ventured, reaching the hills of whimsy, where laughter grew on trees in the form of glowing fruit. They encountered wine sprites who played tricks with illusions, testing Liora's resolve. She closed her eyes and trusted her heart to lead her through. The illusions faded, and the sprites gifted her a wine-blessed scarf for her courage. Each challenge made the feather glow brighter. One evening, after many days, they arrived at the gates of Gildale, a forgotten realm hidden by time. The gates stood overgrown with ivy, bearing the symbol of the sun. Liora felt the feather pulse wildly. This was the place. With a gentle touch of the feather, the gates swung open. Inside lay the true sunlight garden, once the source of all life and light in Solaria, now overgrown and slumbering. At the center stood a statue of Solaria, the spirit of the sun, her wings spread wide, but one feather was missing. Liora stepped forward and placed the golden feather into its rightful place. Light erupted from the statue, flowing like a river across the garden, awakening trees, flowers, and creatures. The vines shimmered, fountains roared to life, and color exploded in a dance of renewal. The statue shimmered and transformed into Solaria herself, radiant and glowing. "You have returned what was lost, not just with your hands, but with your heart," she said, her voice a song. "Your kindness, your courage, your love for all things, these are the true magic." Solaria raised a hand and bestowed upon Liora a circlet of living gold, a gift of eternal harmony. Wren the fox bowed deeply, and even he sparkled with light, revealed to be a guardian spirit in disguise, watching for a soul worthy of the garden's secret. Liora returned to Solaria, the garden now part of her very being. Everywhere she walked, flowers bloomed anew, and warmth followed in her steps. From that day forward, she was known not just as a princess, but as the keeper of the sunlight garden, protector of its wonders, and a beacon of light for all. Her days were no longer filled only with wonder, but with purpose. She led initiatives to plant gardens in every village, teaching children to speak kindly to flowers and respect even the tiniest insect. Under her guidance, the kingdom's bounty grew. Solaria became a heaven where no one went hungry, and where every child could run barefoot through meadows with laughter in their hearts. Wren remained at her side, now a creature of wisdom who took the form of a fox when among villagers, but often shifted to a being of flame and wind when speaking with spirits. He helped her read the stars, listen to the will of the seasons, and plan the long cycles of growth. But peace is never without its tests. One day, a shadow fell over Solaria as an eclipse darkened the skies, an unnatural event that frightened both people and plants. The golden light dimmed, and Liora felt the feather in her locket grow cool. She traveled to the Tower of the Sky Watchers, an ancient observatory perched above the clouds, where seers studied the heavens. There, she discovered that an ancient sun-eater, a creature of shadow that fed on warmth and light, had awoken deep beneath the crystal caverns in the north. Gathering her courage, she assembled a party of loyal allies. Wren the Guardian, Liuma the Otter Spirit, a knight named Briar, who fought with a sword of living wood, and Arin, a star reader with eyes that glowed silver. They ventured north, through frozen tundras and abandoned cities carved from quartz. They battled frost beasts, solved puzzles left by a long-lost civilization, and endured bitter cold. Yet through it all, Liora's light never faltered. The golden feather, though dimmed, still pulsed when she spoke words of hope. In the heart of the crystal caverns, they found the sun-eater, a massive, winged beast made of smoke and ash, its eyes voids that devoured even flame. It roared and lashed out, seeking to consume them. But Liora stood firm. She raised the vial of sunlight Liuma had given her long ago, and called upon every lesson she'd learned. She spoke of balance, of kindness, of cycles that must be honored, not broken. The sun-eater paused. For the first time in eons, it heard not fear, but compassion. It shrank, its smoke dissipating into glimmering mist. In its place stood a child, lost and crying, forgotten by time. Liora wrapped the child in her scarf and whispered a lullaby. That day, the skies cleared. Solaria rejoiced. The feather grew warm once more, and the garden bloomed brighter than ever. Princess Liora ruled for many more years, always walking barefoot through the grass, always humming, always lighting the way. And when her time came to pass the crown, she placed the feather into the hands of a child born beneath a double sunrise. "Tend the light," she said, "for it lives in you."